The herd is ready in D. Glenn Smith Spectrum here in Logan, Utah. The student section for the Aggies, one of the loudest in the nation, ready to bring the noise on what is one of the biggest games in Utah State basketball history. A chance for the Aggies for an outright title in the Mountain West. Richard Pitino's third season at New Mexico has improved the win total each and every year, has his team knocking on the door of the NCAA tournament. Now let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by Kubota. For New Mexico, Donovan Dent having to shoulder more of that load. Jamarl Baker Jr. gets the start in the absence of Jamal Mashburn Jr. And for Utah State, Mason Falslev, who sat out practice yesterday 100% ready to go. One of their Swiss Army knife players that can do a little bit of everything. And how about Danny Sprinkle, Coach of the Year candidate nationwide and in this conference, 25-5, led Montana State to back-to-back NCAA appearances before he got here to Utah State.
And you know, Jordan, the atmosphere in the Spectrum is off the charts right now. I could barely hear you when we were doing the opening. This place is rocking.
Lobos win the tip, they go down low. JT Toppin bothered some finesse with the left hand though.
You're looking at the potential freshman of the year in the Mountain West, and guess who gets the steal? Jalen House off the full court press. That's something that House does all season long. And Toppin, back-to-back buckets for the freshman of the year in the Mountain West candidate. That's the kind of start that you want for New Mexico.
4 points in the first 30 seconds for Toppin. Exactly what New Mexico was hoping for. And then an offensive foul against Johnson on the illegal screen.
Post entry pass into Toppin. You can see his little turn from the right shoulder with his left hand. He's got great touch. One of the best freshmen in the country in the steal with House. Tough finish from Toppin.
Your officials tonight, Mike Littlewood, Randy Richardson, and D.G. Nelson. Already a fast start for the Lobos. Here's Dent off the handoff, trying to get it down low to Nelly Jr. Joseph. Intercepted by great Osibor. Remarkable story. Spent his first handful of years at Montana State with Coach Sprinkle. Tries to wiggle his way to the rim. No good there. Lobos back the other way.
Saw some contact underneath the rim there, Jordan.
The corner three for Baker, off target.
Nice, what a pass.
Osibor down the floor, fouled though as he goes up, and that'll send him to the free throw line. Excellent look down low.
The elite vision from Darius Brown. We've seen it all season long from him. He's 14th in the nation in assists per game. An incredible steady hand for Utah State and head coach Danny Sprinkle.
Gives us a little room to just speak the accolades of great Osibor this season. Was a backup at Montana State with Danny Sprinkle. Now gets the starting gig this year with Utah State. And Mike, in your opinion, might just be one of the candidates for Player of the Year in the Mountain West.
He is a candidate for Player of the Year. If he doesn't win Newcomer of the Year in the Mountain West, I'll be absolutely shocked. But you know, Jordan, that's the next evolution of his game at the free throw line. He's just a 64% free throw shooter. If he's anywhere close to 75%, he's going to be averaging over 20 points a game.
He also draws a lot of fouls throughout the game, so he's going to have his opportunities. And then a foul against New Mexico, offensive foul. They're going to get Nelly Jr. Joseph as he was trying to get some positioning on Isaac Johnson. Reason why there's so much electricity in the building. Top offenses in the conference this year. New Mexico 82.5 points per game. Utah State just under 80 points per game.
But they do it in different ways. New Mexico loves to run. They're top 5 in the country in tempo. Utah State, more of an efficient court scoring team. A really good example on that last play. Empty side, little roll action.
Johnson, the tough shot over House. His first bucket of the game. House draws two defenders, kicks it back up top to Baker. House, the baseline drive, trying to get by Martinez. Surveys the paint, tough fadeaway, feathers it in.
He'll do that. He may get caught on the baseline. You think he's going to get caught defensively, but he's so good and crafty at pulling himself out of difficult situations.
Brown dribbling around the cones, nearly knocks down the jumper, but a foul as he was coming back down to earth. And so Utah State, another trip to the free throw line.
Empty side pick and roll executed really well by Utah State. The help's just a little too late for New Mexico. And here's House. He's stuck, very Steve Nash-esque, orchestrating along the baseline. Doesn't have a great look, but he has made difficult mid-range and long-range jump shots off the bounce his entire career.
Darius Brown, just one of 2 seniors honored tonight, and that first foul was against Jalen House. So keep in mind on that because they need him to go the distance this evening. Brown, cool, calm, and collected, knocks down 2 free throws. Dent trying to dish it down low, another turnover. Aggies out and running. Here's Martinez down the lane. Martinez blows the roof off the building.
Darius Brown slows up just enough for Martinez, and on his head, Jordan Kent. On his head. Wow.
The crowd losing its mind here in Logan. That's also the second foul against Jamaro Baker, and Ian Martinez will step to the line for a chance on a 3-point play after what is sure to be a highlight reel dunk that'll live for the ages for Utah State. It's interesting, Mike, right after New Mexico got that excellent 4-0 start, Utah State has just seized the momentum already.
It's weathering the storm. And I always feel like you can weather a storm better at home than you can on the road.
House, no good. Offensive rebound put right back in by Nelly Jr. Joseph.
He's one of the more underappreciated front court players in the Mountain West. Nelly Jr. Joseph brings a ton of energy.
Osibor spinning and somehow gets it to drop. Foul is on J.T. Toppin. That'll be his first, and already the foul's racking up.
This is something that Osibor does exceptionally well. The spin move off a quick dribble bounce, taking a taller front court defender and baiting him enough to set up that spin move. Something that makes Osibor so good. We talk about his footwork a lot, but he draws almost 7 fouls a game. That's 27th best in the country.
Free throw's no good, false left, steps on the line before you can throw it off a New Mexico player. So it'll be Lobo ball. But Utah State 3 for their last 3, opening up this game 3 of 4 from the field. Toppin left all alone, good again with the left. Toppin now with 6 points. So despite the energy in the building, New Mexico has been able to go blow for blow. That's Brown. That blows by House. House trying to get it to Junior Joseph. His shot bounces in, and the touch that we're seeing from New Mexico early on.
Junior Joseph scored before he caught the ball. That just means that he did all of his work with his feet to give himself better position and a better angle to get that bucket.
Osibor. Step back, baseline jumper. Knocks it down.
It's Mr. Efficient in the Mountain West. He can do it all.
New Mexico 6 of 9 from the field in the early going, so efficient on offense as well. Dent, tough angle right there. Another offensive putback as Toppin cleans it up.
even though Donovan Dent will get counted for a missed shot, it almost counts it as an assist because he's such a great finisher, an elite finisher around the rim. He draws two, sometimes three defenders. That's opens up opportunities for offensive rebounds.
8 points for Toppin. Falslev working against House. Somehow finds the angle and a kiss off the window.
And Jordan, I know you really like his game. He's just a freshman. He's got a really high ceiling for Utah State.
Former football star in high school, able to control some of that athleticism. This time, though, True Washington will draw the foul. We'll catch our first breather in what has been a wild start here in Logan, Utah. But the early lead for the home team Aggies.
Back and forth we go. Dent draws three, leaves Toppin open for the putback. Boy, it's a good one here in Logan. Stick with us.
You're watching Bracket Week presented by Kubota. 16-14 advantage, Utah State here on senior night. A chance to win the outright Mountain West Conference regular season title with a victory tonight. Let's get to the keys to the game, brought to you by Daisy Cottage Cheese. Mike, what do you got for us?
New Mexico has to make Great Osobor uncomfortable. So far, not doing a great job. And then they must force the tempo. They want to play fast. New Mexico's one of the fastest teams in the country. Utah State, perfect half-court possessions will give them better transition defense and have that extra pass mindset. And you look at the games that New Mexico has lost, it's when opposing teams are able to move the basketball and they have over 20 assists in a game. That's something that Coach Sprinkle talked to us about. He said passing is going to be a huge key offensively for us.
Yeah, he also talked about the fact those live ball turnovers feed exactly what New Mexico wants to try and do in transition.
Sometimes you feel like when you play against New Mexico or you're watching New Mexico play, especially a steal from Jalen House almost feels like 3 steals because his ability to get a big bucket, and also they feed off of that. I feel like New Mexico feeds off of steals more than if they feed off a dunk.
True Washington, the freshman from Phoenix, Arizona, misses both free throws, so a chance there to tie the game, and New Mexico comes up empty. Both teams very efficient over their last handful of trips. Utah State 6 for their last 6. New Mexico 4 for their last 5. Osobor stumbling to the rim, gets it in.
He's putting on a YMCA Sunday afternoon show right now. Old school game for Great Osobor.
7 points, 3 of 4 from the field for Great. Blind deflection by Martinez into the hands of Brown.
You can tell he wants the ISO again.
Brown from the deep end off the front of the rim. It's Falslev flying in for the rebound. Osobor thought about it this time, puts it on the deck, spinning. That's going to be a foul on the spin move. And New Mexico, as we said, the whistle starting to pile up. That's against Jalen House, and that'll be a second personal.
And that play was kept alive by the freshman Mason Falslev. Just a missed box out opportunity by Mustafa Amsil.
Now, Mike, we've said before, no Jamal Mashburn Jr. out with an illness. Jalen House now goes to the bench early in this game with the 2 fouls. Pivotal moment here for New Mexico.
Tempo, pace on both ends of the floor need to be controlled by Donovan Dent in this situation.
Osobor skies for it, tries to flip it in, offensive rebound, gets it the second time.
Man, how good is this kid? How good is this kid?
Danny Sprinkle said New Mexico was the more physical team when the Lobos defeated the Aggies in Albuquerque in January. This foul here on Martinez. But one more look, Mike.
A Great Osobor is absolutely dominating in the paint, doing all of his work early to get himself good position. I mean, there's not 1, not 2, but 3 Lobos constantly around him, and he still finds the right angle to score. High-level stuff.
Key moment here for Donovan Dent, gets right to the cup unimpeded.
That's what he does. He's not looking to score from the 3-point line, although he has improved from last season. Just an elite finisher around the rim.
And Coach Pitino said he's excited to see what Dent can do next year without having to share the floor with both House and Mashburn. Former California High School State Player of the Year has really grown into his own. In his second season, nearly forces the steal. 6 to shoot for Brown. Brown has to force it up. He'll miss everything, and New Mexico forcing the shot clock violation.
Watch the speed from Donovan Dent. It's a quick little hezzy, and you see him jump in to Osibor. Not a lot of sophomore point guards would have the guts to do that, but he knows it's the right play to make. He's either getting a layup or he's getting fouled.
Dent in the paint, under the outstretched arm of the Utah State defender, somehow gets it to go. New Mexico 6 for their last 7 from the field. Osibor draws another foul, this time coming over Quentin Webb, whistled for the infraction.
So Donovan Dent is not Kyrie Irving, but he's got a lot of Kyrie Irving in his game. His ability to finish around the rim with craftiness, he's got great touch. It's almost like he does geometry in his mind when he's finishing around the rim.
His balance and patience as well, too, when he's navigating the paint with the taller defenders. But here is Osibor. The first of a 1-and-1 as Utah State finds himself in the bonus with 12.5 minutes left in the first half as Osibor hits his 4th free throw of the night already.
So if we know that, there's a really good chance that Coach Danny Sprinkle knows that, and they are going to continue to run offense through the interior for the rest of this first half. I know if I was Darius Brown, I'd be trying to do that every single time.
1-3-1 look coming from Utah State. Mustafa Amsil cashes in from outside. First 3 of the night for New Mexico.
Lobos fans have been waiting for Amsil to get hot because he could be the X factor offensively for New Mexico. Was a big-time three-point shooter.
Excellent inside-out action. Corner 3, no good. But a high-quality look for the Aggies. Dent in transition, can't finish, bothered by Brown. Here comes Brown racing down the floor. Outside, it's Martinez. Martinez, 6 points, 2 of 2 from the field. Dent can't split the defenders. Brown, open runway to the cup. And another 2 for Utah State as they pad the lead. New Mexico needs a bucket here to stay within an arm's reach. Dent up top, 10 to shoot. Martinez checks him. Amsil, another triple, 2 for 2 off the bench. And Amsil showing you why he leads the conference in scoring off the pine.
There you go. He's the X factor offensively. Stretches the floor, opens up so many driving lanes for Dent when Amsil's making threes.
Critical triple for New Mexico to quiet this crowd. Osibor can't connect on his 3. And a chance here for New Mexico to either tie or pull within 1. The hedge from Osibor. Amsil wants another one. 3 for 3 as Amsil is on fire. 2 words. Javon Jackson stepping onto the floor for Utah State. He's been excellent lately. Here's Brown stepping into the jump shot. Nothing but nets. Brown 8 points, 3 of 5 from the field to go along with 5 assists and 4 rebounds already.
Wouldn't be surprised if you see a lot of switching as is for Utah State. They just switched 3 positions there quickly.
Martinez, some excellent one-on-one defense. Thought about the 3. This time dribbles it off his knee, but a foul is whistled first. And that'll send Martinez to the free throw line. Timeout on the floor. Utah State leads by 4.
Darius Brown, hezzy cross, mid-range jumper, old school game. He's got Utah State up 4.
Welcome back. Tonight we honor Shari Hawkins, one of the most decorated female athletes in Utah State history. Hawkins was the 2022 U.S. National Pentathlon Champion at the USATF Indoors and represented Team USA in the heptathlon at the 2019 and 2023 World Championships. CBS Sports celebrates Women's History Month, recognizing the outstanding contributions women have made on and off the field of play. And Hawkins was a 5-time Aggie All-American, still holds program records in the heptathlon, pentathlon, and high jump. And obviously her career almost as exciting as everything we're feeling right now in this arena, because you've got Utah State a 4-point lead. They have a chance here, Mike O'Donnell, to win their first outright conference title. They're shooting 60% from the field, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. However, it's New Mexico with no Jamal Mashburn Jr., Jalen House on the bench, only trailing by 4.
And 0 fast break points for New Mexico. That is their bread and butter offensively.
Martinez now up to 9 points after knocking down the free throw. Utah State in the bonus. New Mexico has already racked up 8 fouls in this first half. Martinez 2 of 2 from the line on that trip, now in double figures. Had 22 points and led the Aggies in scoring in their loss January 16th in Albuquerque. And well on his way to replicating that effort. House back in the game for New Mexico as Dent catches a breather. Amsil backs him down low, and he's got 11 points off the bench.
When your leading scorer is out and not playing, that's what New Mexico's dealing with. No Jamal Mashburn. You have to have another guy step up, that third guy to step up to support Donovan Dent and Jalen House. And no question, it has been Mustafa Amsil, 11 points.
Asabor spinning, double team, misses, finishes through the contact.
Did you see him pick up the ball on the spin move to avoid that potential steal? What a smart, heady, IQ play in the post from Asabor.
Washington skies with the left hand. Toppin rips it down, puts it right back in.
JT Toppin shoots 63% from the field. That's 12th best in the nation. He is easily one of the most talented players in college basketball. Big time bright spot for New Mexico. Asabor wants this ISO here.
Martinez dumps it off to Asabor, somehow comes up with the catch. Asabor knocked to the floor, no whistle. It's going to be out of bounds against Utah State. New Mexico ball, and a bit of a wild sequence there.
Asabor didn't catch it clean, but there was enough contact to where it looked like that could have been a foul. Little push off by Amsil in the back with his right arm. Should have been called. That was missed.
I think it caught everybody off guard.
Yeah.
And so New Mexico, you could argue, gets away with one there. They trail by 4, just over 6 minutes left. Lobos, one of the last 4 teams in, according to Jerry Palm. House through the contact, takes the shot, able to finish.
That was perfectly executed zoom action for New Mexico.
House with 4 points, limited action because of those 2 early fouls. Johnson lets it fly from up top, no good.
Oh,
House, quick crossover. Johnson bothers it enough though. Brown racing to the cup, tries to pass it cross court, deflected by Amsil. Baker, his 3. That's going to be knocked out of bounds by Martinez. Officials rule it New Mexico ball. But then they're going to change the call, Utah State ball. And Isaac Johnson doing a great job just getting to the point of attack and doing enough to throw the angle off for House. Brown will walk it down now. Trying to work off the screen from Johnson. Aduje, the drive, nearly stolen as Dent gambles. Johnson this time trying to use the size, up and under, can't fish it through with the right. And then a foul by Johnson after the miss.
That entire possession was saved by Nelly Jr. Joseph, acting as the help defender on that drive.
17 foul. Great hustle. We're now back in the game.
That's the 17th foul against Utah State. And Amsia will head to the line. For Johnson, just one of those mistakes you can't compound as far as reaching and trying to go over the back after a missed shot. So Mustafa Amsia, the transfer from Dayton. Bit of a slow start this season, just 20% from the field in the first 10 games, but has really found his rhythm, especially tonight. A game-high 13 points now.
Just a great sign for New Mexico's offense. Coming off a game where they beat Fresno State, he went just 1 of 5 from 3. He has not missed a 3 tonight. 3 for 3.
It's been a 2.5-minute scoring drought for Utah State. Aduje, the 1-2 step, bothered at the peak, knocked out of bounds. It'll be Aggie ball. You really get the sense that New Mexico is starting to tighten up that interior defense the last couple of trips down the floor. And
it needs to happen because Utah State gets a majority of their points in the 2-point range. So they don't shoot a lot of threes. When they're making threes, their offense is almost impossible to stop. When you look at their point distribution, over 56% of their points are from the 2-point range area. That's 37th most in the country. That just means inside the arc, that's their sweet spot.
Which is a rarity in today's game.
No question.
So many teams rely so much on the 3-point shot. They're just 1 of 8 from beyond the arc for the night.
Really helps when you have great Osibor operating inside the 3.
He's got 2 seconds. Osibor to the cup and another tough finish. 15 points for Great. No look pass from House, bothered again as Brown is it. We've seen Martinez be a little quiet now the last couple of minutes. He's got 10 points in the first half for the Aggies. But so far in the half court, New Mexico is clamped down. Brown misses the 3. Aggies now 1 of 9 from outside. House loses his footing. It's going to be out of bounds. Utah State ball.
Again, there's going to be 4 plays where he makes, and there's going to be 1 where he doesn't when he goes 100 miles an hour like that. Little bit of contact, 50-50 play, plenty of situations that's called a foul.
Question now for the Aggie offense. How do they get things going again in the half court? You try and get it to that man, Osibor, though, well defended by New Mexico. Washington trying to get to his left. Joseph no good on the first attempt, blocked on the second. Bodies everywhere. Utah State comes up with it, and Osibor, slow to get back down the floor, got popped in the face. Under 2 minutes left here in the first. Jackson will try the 3, no good. Aggies now 0 for their last 5 after starting this game 6 of 7. Now New Mexico will slow it down a little bit here, Mike. Joseph can't handle the pass. Turnover, New Mexico. That was a gift-wrapped one for the Aggies.
And True Washington just threw an absolute bullet. A very difficult play to catch when you're backpedaling in pick-and-roll action and rolling to the rim.
We'll step aside for a moment. New Mexico with their largest lead of the game, 1:26 left in the first. Welcome back. Utah State trailing by 4. New Mexico has been able to really clamp down defensively, Mike. The Aggies 0 for their last 5. How do they get some offense going here in the half court? Because that's where they've really struggled the last couple of minutes.
Keep going inside. Ultimately, I think the more offense you run through Osobor, the better you're going to be. And he's actually getting looked at right now. Looks like he got hit above the eye.
He's putting a contact lens back in.
Okay.
Do you wear contacts?
No, I don't. Maybe I should after blowing that call.
You're one of the fortunate ones born with perfect 20/20 eagle eye vision. But here it is. Here's the play where we think it happened. There's an Osobor that was flying to contest the shot. A little bit of friendly fire, but he's got the contact back in. It appears to be all right. Martinez, catch and shoot three, no good. Utah State now 1 for 11 from three.
I don't think the Utah State coaching staff likes that shot. A real quick three. You had the opportunity for Osobor on a roll off that pin down.
House will try the triple. That's off target. And New Mexico now 1 for their last 9. It was a game that saw scoring in bunches early on, but has really slowed down in the last handful of minutes. Martinez, the drive to the baseline, picks up the foul. He'll head to the free throw line. To your point, you said just be aggressive and continue to attack the cup.
I love that little hezzy when you shake your head and you move your foot, your jab step at the same time. Love that move. It's hard to guard. You feel like as a defender you're just reacting. You can't predict in that situation.
It was the first foul on Omseal, and Danny Sprinkle said Ian Martinez is our best finisher at around the rim. Had a monster dunk to open up this game, and now at the line for the first of 2 free throws. Toppin and Baker check back in for New Mexico. With 40.8 left here. Mike, any chance New Mexico, we've seen them with their tempo and their pace, so they try to go 2 for 1 after the free throw.
I think it depends on what kind of defense Utah State gets set up in. As they're going to walk it up, that means no. But I was curious to see if Utah State was going to go their 1-3-1 zone. We saw it for one possession in this game. Looks like they're going to save it more for the second half.
Dent will wait for his moment to attack. 10 to shoot. Here comes the ball screen. He eschews it, goes up and under. Unbelievable finish for Dent. And Mike, how about that? A little cat and mouse with the ball screen, gets to the rim. New Mexico leads by 5. A next level play from Donovan Dent on this last possession here, Mike.
All you high school point guards, you need to watch this play over and over and over again. Not for the finish, but for the ball screen reject. Great point guards in the modern game should reject the ball screen a minimum of 50% of the time. You can always go back to the ball screen. The defense always works on what you do when you come off the ball screen. Very rarely do defenses and scout reports work on what you do if you reject the ball screen.
Utah State without a field goal the last 4 minutes. They try to go for a quick hitter. 8 seconds left in the corner, left wide open. It's Jackson, no good. Baker toes the line, has a chance, flips it down the court. Webb up ahead, Omseal trying to beat the horn. It is waved off. Almost had it, Omseal did. Would have been a terrific finish to close out the first half. But either way, New Mexico leads 44-39 on the road with no Jamal Mashburn Jr. One more look.
You said it, Jordan. No Jamal Mashburn Jr. and it clearly doesn't get it off in time. A gutsy first half for New Mexico. Weathered a big storm from Utah State.
Another down. False left going baseline, sneaks it in.
Falslev just seems to make the right play, even as a freshman, over and over again, especially these last 6 games. Falslev has been excellent.
2 of 2 from the field with 4 points. Dent stops on a dime, blocked by Osobor. Johnson thought about it. Don Johnson will get it down low, off the block. Beautiful rainbow jumper is pure.
Right out of the gate, Utah State. A bucket, a stop, a bucket.
And that was the momentum they needed. One for their last 11, now back-to-back baskets. And you know this, being on the floor, that can just start to give you that confidence you need to find your rhythm on offense. Stopping with the left, no good. Osibor bothering another shot. Brown has to kick it back out top. Johnson will put it on the floor. Johnson spinning, tries to go glass. Osibor pump fake, but fouled as he goes up a second time. And he'll head to the line.
That was number 15, JT Thompson. His second, first team foul.
Catch rip along the baseline for the freshman Falslev.
At the free throw line, Drake Osibor.
And then they go inside. I mean, this is part of Utah State's offense. The ability to score without having to make a lot of threes. It's what makes them difficult to guard. It's not your typical modern college basketball offense where they have to rely or they need a lot of three-point shooting in order to be efficient. Utah State is still one of the more efficient half-court offensive teams in the country without a consistent three-point shot.
6-0 run to start the second half as the Aggies reclaim the lead. A 5-point advantage for New Mexico evaporating in the first 2 minutes. House loses the rock. Here's Brown up ahead. Falslev sprinting. House hurries down the floor, cuts off Brown. Exceptional defensive play.
That was also Nelly Jr. Joseph sprinting back to make a defensive play.
Fouls on Mason Falslev.
Foul on Falslev. But Mike, the foot speed that Jalen House demonstrated to cut off Brown, as well as the transition defense for the Lobos.
That's what he does. It's big time speed from Jalen House every single time he steps foot onto the floor. That's why he's going to be in the running for Defensive Player of the Year in the Mountain West.
Toppin trying to spin, gets crunched by Osibor, has to kick it back up top. Dent trying to get to his left, able to get the angle.
He can finish with his left, he can finish with his right. Look at this pass up ahead.
Dent trying to answer right back, and the pace is starting to pick up here, folks.
How great is this?
Buckle up here in Logan.
Some of the best basketball in the country is played in the Mountain West all season long.
And Johnson loses the handle, but that is deflected out of bounds. That'll be Aggie's ball. With the ability to run the floor, the pinpoint pass to Osibor, the catch and the quick finish. Exceptional all around.
In for Isaac Johnson.
So Josh Aduje checks in for Isaac Johnson. Osibor directing traffic, wants to clear things out. He'll go one-on-one. Osibor spinning, blocked by Joseph. That is just some strong one-on-one defense, Mike.
Well, that is what Nelly Jr. Joseph does so well. He's a terrific shot blocker and rim protector. Does so much that goes unnoticed for this New Mexico team.
A transfer from Iona.
Look at House.
Rick Pitino as House intercepts that. Amsil, House thought about it. House loses the handle again, was looking for a call. Brown to Martinez from outside. Martinez with the triple. Seventh assist for Brown. Amsil. Martinez nearly rips it away, but a foul on the floor against Martinez. And the crowd does not agree with that one.
Martinez, his second team foul.
Martinez had 3 threes to start the second half in Albuquerque back in January. Team's leading scorer in that game. Hitting his first triple here. Dent bothered by Osobor. The number of shots that Osobor is starting to bother near the rim has been very problematic, and that is a block at the summit, but a foul with the body against Joseph. And temper starting to heat up a little bit on the floor.
Back and forth we go. Utah State trying to find a little bit of rhythm. It looks like they found it coming out of halftime.
Tomorrow at 2 Eastern, conference tournament hoops continues with the Patriot League semifinals as Bucknell goes head-to-head against Colgate, followed by Lehigh facing Boston University as the road to the Final Four continues here on CBS Sports Network. And Colgate has absolutely dominated the Patriot League tournament over the last 5 years. Boston University knocking them off in 2020. Of course, no NCAA tournament that year, but Colgate, another run in the making for them possibly.
A tale as old as time. Matt Langel winning 20 games on the season and dominating the Patriot League. Colgate is 23-9 on the season. They've got a balanced scoring attack. They average over 15 assists a game. You know, you fill out your bracket, Colgate wins. That's a team. Could be upset city.
Almost that time of year, my friend.
It's the best.
It is a national holiday, in my opinion, and just a moment that you always circle on the calendar as Aduje heads to the line from London, England. His mom and sister are here. They made the trip across the pond, I believe that's what they call it. And what he's been able to do this season for Utah State has given them a lot of flexibility on offense, can defend multiple positions. And now it's 2 free throws to push the lead to 4.
Star role player. Last game came off the bench 24 minutes, 3 points, but had 4 rebounds and 4 assists. Does a lot for the Aggies.
Dent whips a pass to House in the corner. 3-ball corner pocket.
That was really good action by Dent. Going baseline, knowing that House was perfectly open in the corner.
Martinez backing down, tries to get it into Osobor, intercepted by Joseph. House dishes it, Dent, double clutch finish off the window.
That's the 5th assist tonight for Jalen House.
Brown creates a little bit of airspace and knocks down the 3. Brown now with a dozen points, 4 of 7 from the field. Aggies by 2.
Nice pass.
Baker, 4-3, beautiful pass from House as he tells the crowd here to quiet down.
What an unselfish play from Jalen House. That extra pass, love that.
House with 6 assists. Aduje, beautiful touch as he goes window shopping.
When your stars are a little inconsistent, you've got to have that other guy step up, Jordan Kent. Aduje making it happen.
Dent racing around the corner, misses the first time, whips it to Joseph. House, this time taking his time in the corner. House the drive, forces it over to Joseph with the finish.
Right now, it feels like New Mexico is able to attack the paint off the bounce at will. The backcourt for New Mexico is doing an excellent job of attacking the rim.
Osobor, jump stop, draws the foul again. He'll take another trip to the free throw line.
Here's House getting into the paint again, drawing 2 defenders, and it's Nelly Jr. Joseph doing all the gritty work that the Lobos need to get done tonight.
Foul is on Nelly Joseph Jr., his 3rd foul to go with his 8 points and 9 rebounds. Osobor misses the first free throw.
And they'll miss his rebounding. Not just the scoring or the shot blocking, but 9 rebounds, and there's 13:40 left. It's been a monster on the glass.
Toppin will check in for him. That is free throw number 20 for Utah State. Osborne misses both of them. Washington. Nice two-point jump shot off the drive. Big time bucket for the freshman. Martinez spinning. Martinez falling to the floor. It's going to be a trick against New Mexico. As House screaming some defensive instructions to Washington. That's foul number 3 on Jalen House.
His third 14 foul.
And he looks over at Coach Pitino, says, I'm fine. Don't take me out yet.
And this is one of those games where you've got to win. You can't afford to try and roll the dice with House off the floor again.
No question. No mash burn tonight.
Aduje trying to get to the paint, can't get it over. Amsil.
Got Amsil on the block, little roll and replace potential.
House sprinting to the cup, tries to dump it off. Loose ball again on the floor, popcorns around. It's Falslev that scoops it up. Falslev screaming down the floor, right hand finish. Aggies cut the lead to 1. Baker trying to work the two-man game. Toppin down low, size advantage. Osibor comes over to help. Baker, long 3. Off the front of the rim, Osibor comes crashing down to earth, scooped up by Washington. And then House will reset with 16 to shoot. Amsil, 5 to shoot. Amsil spinning. Oh, what a beautiful move.
With the shot clock winding down, we've seen everything from Amsil tonight. He's been big time from 3. That's a tough move. The spin move to push off the defender. Wow.
He has 15 of New Mexico's 17 bench points. The Lobos 17-4 advantage in points from the Pine.
X factor, I tried to tell you.
Aduje finding himself a lot of opportunity, ripped away by Washington. House will walk it down the floor. A mini conference with Pitino on the sideline to set up the next play. It's Amsil. This time working against Brown.
He's got 2.
Amsil trying to pivot. Fishes a pass outside. Baker the triple. Oh, rattles it home.
How about the pass from Amsil, though? The presence of mind, he draws an additional defender, and then the kick out. Right now, Amsil might be having the game of his life right now. How good has this game been? Falslev, tough finish. Amsil making huge plays. The Mountain West is big time.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Chase Freedom Unlimited. How do you cash back? And by Daisy, creamy, pure, and natural cottage cheese. Only Daisy cottage cheese will do.
The stakes are high in Logan. Utah State, a win tonight would give them the outright Mountain West Conference regular season title for New Mexico. A team that many people have as one of the last 4 in. A quad 1 victory on the road would be huge for them.
I don't know who that guy was, but I want to be friends with that guy. That was awesome. How about the blue gloves in the stands?
He'll get the party started for you.
I got to get some of those blue gloves.
I need whatever he needs to get going in the morning. I'll tell you that
man, that's the kind of energy we're having tonight.
And a gamble here by Washington. Brown left wide open for the 3. Can't capitalize, and Washington secures the board. And Mike, what's fascinating, New Mexico's known for their pace of play. Just 4 fast break points to Utah State's 19, yet they lead by 6.
And even though Utah State would prefer to slow it down, when they run exceptionally well. Utah State is actually 4th in the nation in transition offense scoring efficiency.
And a foul by Amsil on the offensive rebound attempt, and so it'll be Utah State ball as we step aside for a moment. You're watching Bracket Week presented by Kubota. And we've talked about the energy level here, and maybe the secret is in the gloves. The student section called the Herd. Apparently, Mike O'Donnell, the blue surgical gloves make the claps sound that much louder.
Apparently there's some science to it. You put the gloves on, you automatically clap louder. It's a louder clap, and it does feel like that inside the stadium right now at Spectrum. But this is awesome. I don't know if I can wear these for the rest of the broadcast, but I feel smart. I feel like a doctor right now, so I'll take it.
I was about to say, you're ready for operation here. And as far as what we've been seeing operate on the floor, New Mexico up 6 without Jamal Mashburn Jr. out for tonight with an illness. Didn't even come to shoot around this morning. He's the team's leading scorer. But Mike, collectively, the contributions from Amsil and Dent have really helped shoulder the scoring load that was vacant at tip-off.
Absolutely. Amsil with 15 points. Nelly Jr. Joseph with 8. And they're starting to get out and push in transition more. That's where they're most comfortable.
Brown up top to Sacco. Perfectly executed play out of the timeout. And that raises the volume here in Logan. Dent, the up and under. Blocked by Osibor. Martinez in transition. Circus finish with the foul.
How did he do that? How did he do that?
Ian Martinez outrunning the entire Lobo defense. And then a display of athleticism on the other end.
The block by Osibor, and Utah State doesn't run a lot, but when they do, they are good. That is a spectacular finish from Ian Martinez. Terrific throw ahead by Falslev as well.
Wow, we mentioned Falslev's football background.
Yeah,
that's just reading a cover 2 defense and feathering it over the corner.
Well said by you. Good use of the word feathering. But Falslev was a dual threat quarterback in high school. Got good vision, bright future ahead for Falslev.
The foul was on True Washington. Just his first personal. Makes it a 2-point game. And time again, Mike, we have seen Osibor, especially in this second half, really make his presence felt at the rim on the defensive end.
Now, also, in addition to that, Jordan, next foul for New Mexico on New Mexico is a 1-and-1 for Utah State. So, you know, you didn't have a lot of rhythm. Really, in that last 4 or 5 minutes, you're trying to climb back into a lead. 9:49 left. Next foul, Utah State goes to the free throw line every time.
Martinez sitting on 16 points, 5 of 7 from the field. Adds some tip to the bill. And now it's just a 1-point game. The double high ball screen for Dent. He kicks it to the corner. Toppin somehow able to get the rock and puts it right in.
The very rare power forward turnover and immediate steal for a bucket.
Right as they drew it up.
That's right.
Toppin with a dozen on the night. Falslev dumps it off. Awesome ball! A smash attack! Toppin up and over 2 defenders. Finds the glass.
JT Toppin isn't just one of the best freshmen in the Mountain West. He's one of the best freshmen in the country.
Falslev now the two-man game with Osobor. 13 to shoot, gets into the lane, finds the angle with the scoop.
They figured it out, Jordan. That's 3 straight possessions of running empty side pick and roll. All 3 possessions buckets for the Aggies.
Falslev, 8 points, perfect from the field. Amsil going to draw the foul on Sacco as he was dribbling near the wing. First foul on Sacco.
Josh Aduse now in the game, replacing Ian Martinez.
Aduje will come in to replace Martinez. A lot of the offense here for New Mexico going through top in the last few possessions. Falslev nearly rips it away. House draws 2. Blind pass to the corner. Here is Washington. Top in, offensive rebound. Can't chase it down though as Brown secures it. The ball from Brown.
Oh, man. You and I saw that from the other side of the court.
He has got that thing on a string as Washington commits the foul, and that'll send Brown to the line with the 1-and-1. And the Aggies starting to smell it. A chance to get right back into this one. They'll have free throws when we come back. You're watching Bracket Week presented by Kubota. And let's revisit our keys to the game brought to you by Daisy Brand Cottage Cheese. And Mike, what do you make of the report card so far?
Well, they haven't been able to make Osobor very uncomfortable. 21 points. He's been excellent. If you look at Utah State, 9 turnovers. That's okay, I would say, Jordan. But that extra pass mindset, 13 assists. You can start to see the ball movement, especially really in these last 4 or 5 minutes for Utah State. Their offense that's worked, that 2-man game, empty side ball screen. They had 3 possessions in a row where they got 3 buckets in a row from one single action. New Mexico has to do a much better job of helping on the weak side.
Brown hits the first free throw. What's been interesting is you have Brown, a shooter that's been on the weak side the last couple of possessions. We've seen a 2-man game with Falslev and Osobor that has led to 4 of their last 4 shots being good.
But that's what they do in the half court. They will find the thing that works, and they're going to own it until you force them out of it.
Aggies with the lead. Utah State 22-1 when they score 70. Their only loss this season was against New Mexico, and that's a foul as Dent is able to get to the cup. Falslev whistled for the foul. And that'll be his 4th personal, Mike. So it sends Donovan Dent to the line. Dent 6 of 13, 12 points. In and out on the first one.
Just thought we saw a good set design from Utah State. New Mexico immediately calls action for Donovan Dent to get downhill. Amsil did a little go screen, and that was designed as a... Excuse me?
I lost my train of thought because I'm looking at this 15-foot tall Darius Brown.
That's got to be the most distracting thing in college basketball this season. I don't know how you make free throws with that. That's incredible.
I feel like if that is the engineering of our future generation, the world is in excellent hands moving forward. We are good.
We're all set.
That is next level, baby. So tied at 70 apiece, just over 7 minutes.
Oh!
Brown, the spin move, lost him.
Oh,
Martinez
no!
for 3. Yes! Ball batted around. House able to pick up the loose change. Up and under. fouled by Martinez.
The deluxe spin cycle. Ball screen reject with a spin and a kick out. That is a thing of beauty. Hang that in the Louvre, Jordan Kent. Gorgeous.
You have to hit that three if you're Martinez in that situation.
You have to. And by the way, Jordan, I don't know if you are hearing any whistles blown, because I'm not. It is exceptionally loud in here.
Utah State has only lost one game at home this year. That's to Nevada. This student section, their noise and creativity certainly helping out in the second half of game.
That monstrous Darius Brown sign is putting the wacky inflatable arm flailing tube man to shame.
Aggies by 2. Utah State has made 5 of their last 5 shots. Brown back to Osibor. Osibor. Charge. And that's going to be a charge taken by Jalen House. A courageous defensive play.
You could tell House read that all the way. As he knew that Brown was going to dump this off. It was a nice pocket pass from Brown. House is in perfect legal guarding position. It doesn't get any better than that.
And that is so difficult to do, to read, and to be patient for the contact as well. Now it's New Mexico with a 3-minute scoring drought at the moment. Amsil maybe took an extra step. Joseph Jr. Oh, Nelly, it's getting hot in here.
We're 90s kids. We get that reference, Jordan.
Thank you.
I get it.
That's why
I'm a millennial. I get it.
I appreciate that.
I totally get it. This feels like every single game in the Mountain West right now. Games are tight, high-level play, execution on both ends of the floor. Awesome stuff. Another great one in the Mountain West.
3 to shoot. Brown has to hoist it up. He is fouled, though. Jalen House and Patino cannot believe it. A costly foul as Brown rises up for 3, and that is personal foul number 4 on Jalen House.
At the free throw line, Darius
Got the arm.
That's a foul.
Got the right arm.
You love the aggressiveness.
Yep.
Night in, night out from House. But a shot clock winding down with you sitting on 3 fouls. Got to be very careful in that moment, I imagine.
And then now the game you have to play for Coach Patino with your best playmaker and best defender coming off the floor with 4 fouls. How long can you have Jalen House on the bench? If you can get to that under 4 timeout and it stays within a 1-possession game, then you start thinking, how long can I stretch this out? Maybe 1 or 2 more possessions. It's going to be a difficult decision for Coach Patino.
Brown makes 2 of 3, 16 fouls for Utah State, so the bonus is there for New Mexico on the next foul.
Great pass.
Oh,
Just a great
Junior
pass.
Joseph to the rim. And that's what you love from Donovan Dent, that playmaking that he can step up and do when House has to go to the bench.
The guard play in general in the Mountain West has been elite all season long.
Aduje from the corner, takes the triple. The quick trigger for Aduje. Utah State 4 of 5 from 3 here in the second half.
This is where Donovan Dent has to be really good.
Dent with the taller Sacco on him. Amsil now. He'll try to use his size advantage. Pounds it down low against Brown. Goes up. Oh, a cool 2-point shot for him to draw New Mexico to within 1.
Where has this Amsil been all season long for New Mexico? I mean, he's having the game of his life. 17 points tonight.
Just over 4 minutes left to play. Brown, 7 to shoot, cross-court pass, Aduje from the opposite corner. No good, Osibor rips down a key offensive board. Martinez will take his time. Michael wants Brown to be the ball screen here. Martinez, contested triple. One of those shots maybe scratch your head on.
Let's see if Utah State switches this. They don't.
Martinez goes under. Dent with the left hand. Amsil blocked, but a foul as Amsil was trying to go up. That'll send him to the free throw line.
Well, how good has this game been? Aduje rips a three in the corner. And New Mexico, Amsil, the game of his life. 1-point ball game here in Logan.
Coming up next, the Mountain West mayhem continues as the UNLV Runnin' Rebels take on rival Nevada's Wolfpack. Catch the tip-off here on CBS Sports Network. So Utah State's last home loss, their only one of the season, February 6th versus Nevada. Nick Davidson, Keenan Blackshear, they combined for 43 points and 13 rebounds as Nevada gets the upset over number 22 Utah State, 77-63, snapping the Aggies' 13-game home winning streak. Nevada's first road win against a ranked opponent since 1981, Mike O'Donnell.
And everybody's talking about Utah State as really the talk of the Mountain West. And obviously San Diego State, they might be in that 4-5 seed range, but Nevada is projected as a 6th seed, an extremely underrated team coming out of the Mountain West. They have 7 quad 1 wins, including wins over TCU and Washington, Jordan.
The depth of this conference and what they're able to do in non-conference play.
So let me ask you this. Just briefly, what happens if UNLV wins the Mountain West tournament and New Mexico wins a couple games in the Mountain West tournament? We could see 7 teams in the Mountain West in the NCAA tournament. That's incredible.
Amsil splits a pair, and we are locked up at 78 apiece. He's got 18 on the night off the bench. New Mexico again without Jalen House for the moment. Back on the floor now with 4 fouls. Keep an eye on that. Osibor trying to back down Amsil. Poked away. Osibor on the floor. Turnover forced by the Lobos.
That was Junior Joseph getting the deflection.
Amsil thought about it. House clapping for it.
Trying to go inside.
And miscommunication. Baker waited too long. Martinez, the dish off. Sacco blocked at the summit. But a foul from Baker as he was trying to get the rejection from behind.
And Baker just classic telegraphed that pass, which caused that turnover. Good dish and transition by Martinez.
And almost a clean block from Baker.
That looked clean live. A little bit of hand.
That was the hand part of the ball?
Well, I mean, to me, that looked like play on.
So that'll send Khalifa Sacco to the line, just a 52% free throw shooter for his first attempt of the night. Rattles it home, and you could hear a pin drop as he was dribbling. And also breaks a 2-minute scoring drought that Utah State was dealing with at the moment.
Never liked that as a player when it got incredibly quiet. I would rather the fans somewhat cheering just a little bit.
I always feel like I'm in trouble when it gets that
no
quiet.
doubt, no doubt.
How about that? It's beautiful. Sacco clutch free throws, and the Aggies lead by 2. You throw the math out the window, Mike O'Donnell, when you get to this point. House, pump fake, jump shot, too strong. Martinez chases it down. Ball slam. Going up. Wiggles his way to the rim, and he's got 10. The poise from the freshman. Dent this time. Oh, a beautiful finish by him. And a timeout quickly called as New Mexico trails by 2. 2:07 left, and a must-win for the Lobos. Two-point lead for Utah State with 2:07 left in this ball game. New Mexico and Donovan Dent, a quick strike on this last possession.
It's the tempo, the pace, the change of speed that makes Donovan Dent an elite finisher and one of the best point guards in the country, in my opinion.
He's got 15 points now. Richard Pitino called a quick timeout after that made basket. What was the conversation you think in the huddle as they start to set their press?
Well, they're setting up their defense, and the first thing he talked about was how does House defend in a full court press scenario with those 4 fouls. So it's token pressure, nothing major. You're just trying to cause a slight indecision. You look at the shot clock, they don't start until 20 seconds.
Falslev, the strong drive, trying to work against House. Body's muscling for positioning down low. Falslev to Sacco off his knee. New Mexico ball.
So it's the right look from Falslev, but you really want Brown and Osibor in 2-man game in crunch time like that. And it's not to say that you can't make that play. It's not a bad pass at all. It's the right read, but are those the guys you want under 2 minutes making those crunch time plays?
And it felt like they wanted to go to Falslev early against House with those 4 fouls, but New Mexico was able to rotate well. So can the Lobos tie or take the lead with this possession? Dent whips a pass, Toppin, too strong. Osibor, the board. It was there. Timeout, Utah State. A minute 28 left in this game. A 2-point lead. A chance to win the outright Mountain West Conference regular season title when we come back. Welcome back. It's everything you could script. Utah State, 2-point lead, final regular season game of the year. And we take a look now at our Geico play of the game. And what we saw earlier was Osibor snatching this rebound on the previous possession. And enough to bother the attempt by Toppin. And that helps secure the lead at this moment for Utah State. And so a key defensive stop has them in the driver's seat moving forward. Martinez with the body, too strong, batted around. And that's going to be out of bounds. New Mexico ball as all of the Utah State bench swarms the officials asking for a replay.
And big picture thoughts here. New Mexico needs this win badly to increase their resume potential of an at-large bid. New Mexico still searching for an additional quad 1 win. They have a great net ranking at 27, but they only have 2 quad 1 wins. This would be a huge quad 1 win opportunity, and they're reviewing this out of bounds play.
Hard to tell there.
Does Baker get a hand on it?
It's almost as if Osibor's hand hits Baker's hand that then knocks it out of bounds.
That's exactly what it looked like, and it's got to be, to overturn it, has to be indisputable. But you're right, Jordan. Osibor's hand.
It's the hand of Baker, and that sends the ball out of bounds. But it looks as though Baker's hand was the last hand to touch the basketball.
I would have to agree with that. I mean, from all the angles we saw and how close it was, is it enough for you and I to look over and say, oh yeah, absolutely, they got it the wrong call? I don't think the wrong call was made on the floor.
Certainly a 50-50 call with huge implications. Minute 15 left, and you mentioned that net ranking for New Mexico. No team with a net ranking under 30 has ever been locked out of the NCAA tournament. It was NC State with a 31 net ranking in 2019. That's the lowest net ranking for a team to not get accepted into the NCAA tournament.
And right now, Jerry Palm has New Mexico as an 11 seed, as in the grouping of last 4 in, along with Colorado, Seton Hall, and St. John's. This is going to be a pretty good look here, I think.
I believe it's off the back of the right hand of Baker. Now, my opinion holds 0 weight on the official's decision here.
Holds a lot of weight with me. I'm in agreement with you.
Officials still having a conversation about this. Obviously a very important call at this moment in the game. Possession arrow does favor New Mexico. Each team with 1 timeout left.
This extended period of time is great for players like Darius Brown, who played 38 minutes so far in this game, essentially the entire game except for maybe a minute.
And it's remarkable because Danny Sprinkle calls him the team's best defender. And to play that many minutes, to be that involved on the offense, to then guard the other team's best guard, takes tremendous, tremendous conditioning.
Call is confirmed on the court. It is going to be New Mexico's ball.
Wow. I think you might have been right. There wasn't enough there to overturn it possibly. But either way, New Mexico will take that. Down 2, minute 15 left. Brown will pick up 10 full court. Defensively, Utah State, what do you have to keep in mind here?
Well, you know the ball's going to be in the hands of Donovan Dent here in a playmaking scenario. Jalen House is in the left corner. He's your other great playmaker.
Dent, the drive, ties it up.
He's done that all season long. He's one of the biggest big shot makers in the Mountain West. We're going to get some two-man game here with Darius Brown.
Brown goes to his left, tries to whip a pass. Osibor in the corner. It's Martinez, open runway. Martinez, a touchdown! And Utah State leads by 2. 40 seconds left. House, the jumper, locks it up again. Four-second differential between shot and game clock. Utah State will call their final timeout. Tied up, 84 apiece. Everything on the line. We'll be right back. Tied at 84 apiece, 29.5 seconds left. Utah State ball on the sideline. How about these last 2 baskets?
I mean, back and forth, the Mountain West has been like this all season long. Ian Martinez has had an awesome game. You want to talk about a big-time dunk? That is a filthy Rucker Park crossover from Jalen House in a must-get bucket scenario for New Mexico.
Utah State called timeout. What are they trying to dial up here offensively?
2 trains of thought. Empty side pick and roll with Darius Brown and great Osibor would be good action. Then you stick Martinez in the opposite wing, who's hit 3 threes in this game. But let's see if they hunt Jalen House, who's got 4 fouls. House is on Brown right now. That's the matchup to watch.
4.5-second differential between shot and game clock. When will Utah State decide to attack? It's Martinez up top. Baker checking him. Brown will set the ball screen. It's Brown. Osibor down low. 3 to shoot. Osibor out to Brown. The senior for 3. Darius Brown with the dagger. Are you serious? 3.4 seconds left. Utah State leads by 3.
What a smart play by Osibor. Darius Brown, the leader, unquestioned leader of Utah State, makes the huge 3. I need some oxygen, Jordan Kent. This game has been insane.
Utah State is 5 of 8 from 3 in the second half. 4.2 put back on the clock. So certainly enough for New Mexico to work with. But you imagine they've got to hunt for a 3 here.
Well, you have to hunt for a 3. Do you foul if you're Utah State in this scenario of 3?
How about these big shots from Brown? Back on January 13th, down 4 in the final 15 seconds. Hits a 3-pointer with 8 seconds left. Foul off the ball against Osibor. He hits the free throw. A 4-point play as Utah State gets the win. And then how about in Fresno? Hits the long 3, sends the game to overtime. And now you can add this to the resume on senior night on top of it.
Darius Brown, 19 points, none bigger than that 3-point shot. What can Darius Brown do for you?
Hey, what do you think of your hockey?
Delivers. And So you've got some options if you're Utah State. You can foul and send New Mexico to the free throw line, eliminating the three-point shot. But either way, New Mexico has to go the length of the floor. They put Jalen House in the far corner. Looks like it'll be Dent that'll try and catch and bring it down the floor. Seal to inbound.
You've got to catch this on the run if you're Donovan Dent. You need a full head of steam as you're catching it. Well, they go to House.
It's House, and he gets fouled.
There you go. I think that's smart. I think you're playing the analytics to your favor. You're up 3. There was less than 5 seconds on the clock. I think that's a really smart play by Utah State.
So it sends Jalen House to the line to shoot 2. New Mexico down 3, 2.8 seconds left.
No timeouts left for New Mexico. No timeouts left for Utah State. The importance of boxing out here for Utah State is paramount.
Do you hit both, then try a quick foul, or do you go make the first one, try to miss the second?
With a senior like Jalen House, wouldn't surprise me at all. Look who's positioned to rebound. JT Toppin and Nelly Jr. Joseph making the first with the miss on the potential second.
Here's the important one, knocks it down. And now decision time as a mini huddle for Utah State. No timeouts remaining for either team. 2.8 seconds left. Will House try to make it or go for the intentional miss?
Toppin and Junior Joseph are going to try to X here to get a rebound. Oh, he didn't hit the rim. He didn't hit the rim.
He didn't hit the rim. Clock winding down. House hoists it up. No good. And Utah State wins their first ever outright Mountain West Conference regular season title. What a scene in Logan. On senior night, it's Darius Brown, one of 2 seniors honored. That hits the biggest three-point shot of the season for the Aggies. And Danny Sprinkle in his first year at the helm at Utah State, a team that was picked 9th in the preseason media poll, will now sit atop the Mountain West Conference.
Osibor could have taken a bad shot there. Gives it to his longtime teammate, and Brown, the teardrop to win it. Are you kidding me? Darius Brown.
87-85, Utah State gets the win. They will finish 14-4 in conference play. New Mexico 10-8. As we said before, just their second ever conference title, but their first ever outright. They shared it in 2019, but this time they can put both their mitts on that trophy as the Aggies have defied all expectations coming into this year and have shown the resolve of a champion throughout what has been a brutal Mountain West Conference slate.
And long live the cork storm, Jordan Kent. Long live the cork storm.
Aggies improved to 26-5 on the year. And for New Mexico, it's a 2-point loss on the road against a quad 1 team. You figure there probably doesn't impact their net ranking too much.
It won't impact their net ranking too much, but they need an additional quad 1 win on their resume. They're going to have to get it in the Mountain West tournament. It was a gutsy road performance. I thought they played really well, especially considering no Jamal Matchburn, their leading scorer. Other guys stepped up in a big way. I'll tell you this right now. If Mustafa Amsil even plays 60% of the way he played tonight in the Mountain West tournament, who knows what could happen with New Mexico. He was a big difference maker. But Utah State continues to show why it is one of the best stories in all of college basketball. Not a single player returning, first-year head coach, and you win the regular season title in the Mountain West. Wow.
The herd has collected at midcourt, and they are celebrating their champions as they make their way around the floor. As we said before, Utah State, nobody had them on the radar as far as a threat in this conference, but they shocked the world this season and pick up their first ever outright Mountain West Conference regular season championship.
2024 Mountain West Conference champion.
Danny Sprinkle talked about the culture, we saw this during shoot-around and throughout the day. This is the team, Mike, that believes in one another, plays for one another. And once they discovered that unselfishness led to success, that's when the rocket took off for them this season.
Senior night for Utah State. And after all the seniors were announced at half court, they're taking a picture. The entire team sprinted over with the seniors because they wanted to be in the picture with them. You and I looked at each other and we said, whoa, that is culture. Those type of moments, any hooper knows, are worth 4 to 5 extra points when you got teammates that love each other. Osibor in that last play, you're kidding yourself if you don't think Osibor and Brown are friends. Friends don't make those kind of plays late in the game. That was an unselfish play by Osibor, who was having a great game.
They came here with Danny Sprinkle from Montana State. The offseason workouts were brutal. The first 3 months were all defense, but it was constantly Brown in the locker room telling all of these Utah State players who had just met Danny Sprinkle, trust me, this is going to work out. You got to believe in the process. We will be better for this. And now they're seeing the fruits of their labor that was sown back in the fall.
And that's another quad 1 win for Utah State. That makes 5 quad 1 wins for Utah State. I mean, they're projected as a 5 seed. There's a really good chance we could see them inside the top 4 seeds in the NCAA tournament, especially if they win a couple games in the Mountain West. There's another player, though, Jordan, that we didn't talk about for Utah State. Ian Martinez was terrific. He made a huge play to start the game, that dunk, where everybody went crazy. Martinez was excellent, 22 points tonight.
Coming up next, we have UNLV at Nevada, another Mountain West matchup. For Mike O'Donnell and our entire crew, I'm Jordan Kent. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. So let's send you to the Lalor Event Center in Reno. It's UNLV at Nevada. So long from Logan.